All right, guys, so let's take a look at the sandblaster. I'm making a sand mess. So years ago, excuse me, got sand in my mouth. So we're running play sand that the kids have a turtle place sandbox thing. So the lid happened to be upstairs, so I just dumped the wet play sand in the lid, and then I'll dump it through a window screen. I got some sawhorses up there with some 2x6s just laying there, so I spread them apart, laid the screen on it, and just dumped it through into a 5-gallon bucket, and then from there into the into the sandblaster unit. So this is that central pneumatic one I got off of eBay, 50-pound spot blaster. So it's supposed to be pretty well paired with my 20-gallon compressor. They always overrate air compressors, so it says 4 CFM, 1.6 horse at 90 psi. Yeah, 90 psi. And this takes, oh boy, 3.5 at 50. So according to this, it takes either this takes more air or the air compressor doesn't deliver enough air. So I'm not at 90 pounds anymore for sure. I'm more like 50 or 75 or something. That's a little less, but it's still a reasonable match. And I've blasted most of this, so I wanted to run over the top. This is really good. With the Farmall M, we went over it just like this. So here's some rough spots that'll get some more attention, and kind of want to try and really clean out around the weld. So basically I'm going over the top, the top of the whole thing one more time. Yeah, I think I want it this direction. Go over the top one more time and try and get this side of it, get all the paint scuffed. So this has got some really weird shade of green on it. Could be a military green. So maybe they painted it black and military green. I'm not sure, but I have a feeling once we get the engine enclosed, it's covered up with a rag now, but once we get the engine all put together, I think we're going to run along the frame and the engine, and we'll just clean off all the years of grease and grime. Well, it's not really grime, it's that dry, crusty crust that you get. Part of it's oxidized and gas and stuff. And part of it's just dirty, muddy. Somebody has pre-painted the frame, I think. And there's some of the green crap up here on top and on the handlebars. So I think if we steel wooled the handlebars, they'd look pretty good. But we'll see how far we want to get. First, we got to get the engine enclosed. The rack, the back rack, probably be a smart idea to take the front rack off too. So maybe we'll do that later. And then we'll paint the front and rear racks black. Not today, probably in a different operation. But anyway, I waited till the air compressor caught up so I could give you guys a little bit of a show. Let you know how it is. So the only thing with blasting with play sand is A, it's wet, and B, it's got silica in it. So you're supposed to wear respiration when you're sandblasting with it. But I love sandblasting. Like I said, we did the Farmall M 6-7 years ago. Painted it with Case IH factory paint, and the thing looks amazing with a coat of wax still today. It's probably got a bunch of dirt baked into it, but we went over it and got the sheet metal pretty much scoured clean. And then around the bell housing, the cast iron stuff like the wheels, we went and did this right here, what we're doing here, giving it a good coarse texture so that it would hold some paint. And it did really well. I've repainted my Farmall C multiple times over the years, and it just gets worse every time because the old flakes of paint don't get blasted off, and there's new layers of mud and grease on top of the old paint, on top of the old grease, on top of the old paint. So having the ability to go and scour stuff clean, like the carburetors always leak on the engine block, and then that's a big brown spot, and there's layers of stuff you almost couldn't get off with a putty knife. So the sandblasting, we had a 40 horsepower 2-stroke commercial Detroit powered commercial air compressor about that old with 4 mile C. And that, and we ran a Harbor Freight, the steel version, the steel one. I mean, both hold a whole tank of sand, but having that 40 horsepower, even without an air dryer, we took the M under the forebay, the overhang, and spread out a piece of tarp, parked it on top, and sandblasted everything, and then just pulled the tarp together and shoveled up the sand. So I think we used we bought 4 bags of sand and maybe used 3. So that was sandblasting sand, and that was great. That was the easiest way to remove rust and dirt and old paint that I've ever seen, and I love it. And being able to buy the sandblaster for $50 or whatever, go with the match with my air compressor, allowed me to do something I couldn't do otherwise. So the only problem I've got is the sand. The sand comes by pulses. So it's like 2 seconds of sand, and then 2 seconds of air, and then 2 seconds of sand, or something of that nature. So, all right, it's awesome I can do it in here. My idea was, let's put everything on a chair, and then we'll be able to scoop up the sand when we're done. All right, let's get to blasting. So there it is. It should give us a nice heavy duty coat of paint. Hey. So anyway, I got to show you this. I don't know why my screen feels like it's all zoomed in, but there's the engine crane with a horse blanket. So I just parked that kind of in the middle here and got my stand and just sandblasted and sandblasted. I got the sander out, and the air compressor's been running nonstop this whole time. So we have a bunch of stuff to paint. So the tail light bracket, they got sanded. I sanded the top of this, sanded the old decal flat. Well, I can feel a little bit of a burr. So we might do some more work on that. There was a scratch here, I sanded that out. So I think we're going to paint that black. I'm not sure. I didn't want to wreck the plastic, because like right here we're through, so we're going to have to take something. I got the little oscillator. We might be able to take that up along the edge here. Cut some of that off. So I'm going to try and remember that. The rest of this, we just flatten it out. Usually I take the wire wheel and go this way and try and get in between the little diamond things, but we'll see. I'm thinking about power washing that. A lot of this needs power washing. So anyway, here's the mountain of stuff we blasted. The old light bracket really needed some attention, so I did the front rack too. Front rack, back rack, back grab bar, and the front headlight grill. Oh, now I got hiccups. That's horrible. So I have new boots for this. So I blasted the bottom of the front forks and all the way up through here just for fun. So now that we're this far apart, might as well take the 4 bolts out of here, take this nut off, and these 2 bolts out. And then the whole front triple tree falls out. And the wiring and all is all attached to the handlebars and the top of this guy here. We should see if we can throw the choke away. We should sandblast this. I'm not sure what color it's supposed to be, but maybe we can blast all the rest of this stuff. Or steel wool or something. Be good to keep the chrome on the handlebars, but I mean, worst case scenario, if we were to paint everything silver, it'd be fine too. That way in the future, if somebody really falls in love, they could just send all the parts out and have them re-sandblasted and re-chromed. That way they're not deeply pitted. So it's good to see the front forks red again. It's kind of hard to do that to the light. So the other thing is, well, like I said before, once we get the engine in, I heated the bolts for the exhaust manifold. I want to get that out. There's a little threaded pipe nipple welded on here, so this needs to be welded all the way around. So this is supposed to stick into there. And it doesn't seem to be leaking in that direction, only in this one. So if we get that welded, it should be fine. Maybe we can do this bolt too. But anyway, I should probably be ordering parts, but I'm not because I don't feel like it. I think, well, we did get the seal kit for the engine. Where'd the whole bucket of stuff go? Oh, here it is. So I think this seal here we need to order. And then the other one on the other half. It's back there for some odd reason. And then we need to get into the, dremeling out the, man, I'm kind of tired. Do the Dremel work on it to get that JB Weld stuff right. So we V'd everything out, cleaned it up, JB welded it. And then the next day I came back and bent a sheet of aluminum. Same stuff for the taillight bracket. It's like 1/8 of an inch thick. Really soft though. And then we JB welded everything and laid that on top. So it's pretty good. I don't think it'll withstand whatever they did to it before, but I assume what they did before was pretty terrible. So hopefully we'll forestall that happening. I think we'll try and sandblast the little foot pegs. I want to make those black again. So we're going to have to get some, I think this is an 82. Always do forget. 1982, yeah. So we're going to have to get some pictures of this. Make sure we paint everything correctly. So, hey, maybe tomorrow we'll just keep right on going with the painting and the prep work and just keep getting it further along. I'm pretty sure I got gloss black, so I don't know. I'm just in a mood. I want to make it look really nice and clean some of the stuff off. So it's snowing. It's still snowing right now. It's just crazy. It's starting to accumulate on the four-wheelers and stuff. Wow. Anyway, so that's kind of the recap for the day. We got this fender to sand yet. It'd be pretty nice if we could go and we could even go and resand some of the stuff if we wanted to, but I'm not interested. Just let the runs be the runs. It's not a show four-wheeler or three-wheeler. Like right there, you can see the runs and how rough it is. It's not going to be so visible once it's on, but you could fold a piece of paper and sand that down and be pretty nice, but then you have to sand every other square inch of it and repaint it all, and then might run again. So I think we're going to just keep pushing on through and keep recycling the sand. It's actually really fun to do what I've been doing today, sandblasting, and my idea of cleaning up and reusing the sand is actually good. Works. And the hanging blanket works really well. So basically it'd be better if the blanket was twice the size and there was two in a V-shaped, or maybe one on the floor, maybe up the wall. So we could do that above, right up here. So anyway, which reminds me, make sure I turn the light off. Yep, everything's off. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching this episode of Resurrecting the Three-Wheeler. And yes, it's a lot of work. And no, it probably doesn't pay off in the end. But I really want to do my best effort on this. I know this three-wheeler's kind of old and a little bit rusted here and there, like the spot on the back rack. There's some scale on the bottom of the frame. I like to get rid of it. But it runs beautifully. It's still solid. And with a couple of new parts, this should be 8 out of 10 working three-wheeler. And it'll look good. Or should we say it'll work hard and look good doing it. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.